If you're watching this, you might be going through hell right now. Not the dramatic kind. The quiet kind. The kind where you wake up and nothing feels real anymore. Where the things that used to matter don't. Where you feel disconnected from everyone, even yourself. You might think you're losing your mind. You're not. You're in the dark night. And this is the initiation no one prepares you for. There's a phase in spiritual awakening that almost no one talks about. It's not blissful. It's not enlightening. It doesn't feel like growth. It feels like death. The mystics called it the dark night of the soul. The Buddhists call it dukkha, the stages of suffering on the path to awakening. The alchemists knew it as nigredo, the blackening, the dissolution of everything false. Different names, same process, same purpose. This is not punishment. This is not a mistake. This is the stripping away of everything that isn't you. And if you're in it right now, if you feel hollow, lost, like the ground beneath you has disappeared, you need to understand what's actually happening, because the dark night isn't a breakdown. It's a breakdown before a breakthrough. The dark night doesn't announce itself. It creeps in quietly. Here's what the entrance looks like. You start questioning everything. Your career, your relationships, your beliefs. The life you built suddenly feels hollow. Things that used to bring you joy don't anymore. You go through the motions, but you're not really there. People around you seem content with things that now feel trivial to you. And you can't explain why you've changed. You just have. This is the call. In spiritual traditions, they understood this as the soul outgrowing its container. Your old identity is dying. The person you thought you were, the roles you played, the masks you wore, the stories you told yourself, they're dissolving. And your ego? It's terrified. Because the ego's job is to keep you safe, keep you the same, keep you in control. But awakening doesn't care about safety. It cares about truth. So the ego fights back. It creates fear, doubt, confusion. It whispers, something is wrong with you. Go back to how things were. But you can't go back. The door is closed behind you. Then comes the hardest part. The void. This is where most people panic, where they try to escape through distractions, substances, new relationships, spiritual bypassing. But the void can't be bypassed, only crossed. Here's what the void feels like. Nothing makes sense. You feel numb, disconnected, like you're watching your life from behind glass. Spirituality stops working. Prayer feels empty. Meditation feels pointless. Even the teachings that once inspired you now feel hollow. You're not depressed in the clinical sense, though it might look like that from the outside. And this is unbearable, because your mind wants a map. It wants to know when this will end. It wants a reason. But the dark night doesn't offer reasons, only transformation. The lesson here is brutal but necessary. Surrender. Not passive resignation, active surrender. Stop trying to figure it out. Stop trying to control it. Stop trying to fix yourself. You're not broken. You're being remade. And then, slowly, almost imperceptibly, something shifts. Not a lightning bolt, not a grand revelation, just a quiet knowing. The emergence looks like this. You start to feel present again. Not in the old way, that's gone. But in a deeper, quieter way, small things begin to matter. The light through a window, a conversation, a breath. You realize you've stopped seeking, not because you found what you were looking for, but because the seeking itself was the problem. The dark night taught you this. You are not the roles you play. You are not the thoughts in your head. You are not even the story of your suffering. You are the awareness witnessing all of it. And that awareness, it was never lost. It was never in danger. The Hindus call this Atman, the true self that was always whole. The Buddhists call it Buddha nature, the inherent awakeness beneath all experience. The mystics called it union with the divine. Not as something external, but as your own essence. You don't emerge from the dark night with answers. You emerge with presence, with clarity, with a quiet, unshakable knowing that you are not your circumstances. And strangely, impossibly, you feel gratitude for the darkness, because it stripped away everything false and left only what's real. Now let me tell you what this means for you right now. If you're in the entrance phase, stop trying to make sense of it. Stop trying to go back to who you were. You can't. And that's not failure. That's growth. Let yourself question. Let yourself grieve the old life. But don't mistake the dissolution for destruction. Something in you is waking up. If you're in the void, this is the hardest part. I won't lie to you, but hear this. The void is not permanent. You will not feel this way forever, even though every fiber of your being believes you will. Your only job right now is to not run. Sit with the emptiness, let it teach you. The mystics understood. The void is where the ego loses its grip, where control becomes impossible, where surrender becomes the only path. And surrender isn't weakness, it's the ultimate strength. If you're emerging, don't expect the world to look the same. You've changed. Your values have changed. What matters to you has changed, and that's okay. You might lose people who can't meet you where you are now. You might have to rebuild parts of your life. But what you've gained, the clarity, the presence, the unshakable knowing that can never be taken from you. The dark night is not talked about enough. Because we live in a culture obsessed with positivity, with light, with constant growth. But the mystics knew better. They knew that transformation requires death, that rebirth requires dissolution, that awakening requires the dark night. This is the initiation, not into knowledge, not into power, into truth. And truth doesn't comfort you, it frees you. If you're in the dark night right now, I see you. I know it feels unbearable, I know you want it to end. But don't rush it, don't bypass it, don't numb it. Let it do its work. Because on the other side, and there is another side, you will be unrecognizable to your old self. And that's exactly the point. This is cloaked doctrine. The Codex doesn't promise you light. It shows you what the darkness is actually for. If this initiation found you at the right time, share it with someone still lost in the void. More forbidden knowledge next week. Subscribe and switch the notification on so you don't miss it. Until then, don't run from the dark. Let it remake you.